Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is going to be the Crochet Nation Newspaper. This is issue 4, but issue 3 for me because I'm an issue behind. I didn't get one yet. I'm hoping soon that I can do so, but we'll see. So this one I really do like. It's got an elephant blanket, heart elephant Grafgan baby blanket. It's got crochet pattern. I do believe the pattern is on page 10, so I'll show you that. And then there is a crochet a gorgeous bag down at the bottom on page 8. Now this one, I did look at it briefly. There is no YouTuber, nobody mentioned in this one, so no spotlight, I guess you could say. So that's different. I was used to last time. It was, I think, Tony from TL Yarns that was in there. Creative Grandma's been in it. I don't know who was in the first one because obviously I didn't get that one yet. But there's everything is broken down into different sections. So they have home and living, wearables, amigurumi, and stitch break. And I will show you what I can show you because I don't want to show you everything in here. Now this is a monthly newspaper. They have. I didn't know that they came out with one of those. I'll have to look into that. So the book that's recommended this time is called The Crochet in the National Parks by Krista Ann. Now I know that they had a knitting one, but I did not know that they came out with a crochet. Let me see if I can get this to... do this right here. So I will have to look into that. I'm not sure... There's always a letter from the editor in there. So there's the book. And LeVar Burton, I don't know if everybody remembers him from Reading Rainbow and Star Trek. He has a podcast where he reads. There's the book, the product recommendations, and cats hanging around stitch markers. Now some stitch markers are only for knitters. Some stitch markers can be used crochet or knitting because they have the lobster claws on them to work. Like the key, this is a key ring, but if I really wanted to, I could make this into a stitch marker because it would just be taking off the, I'm trying to show it to you, I'm looking at it, be taking off this piece, but this is the lobster part, lobster claw, so it can attach to the stitches for crochet. If it was only specific for knitting, that would be all enclosed, you wouldn't be able to open that. I still like this keychain. I don't know if anybody else has these in their Joann's that are still open, but it's really cute if you have a puppy. Alright. And it has my purple. My purple's my favorite color, so that was a plus as well. Okay, so that was on that page. A stack of patterns, a heart full of memories, reader spotlight. And this is talking about her. The editor. No, that's not the editor. Oh, it's a reader. Okay, so this is the spotlight that they have right now. She's over here. A stack of patterns, a heart full of memories, and it says she's a reader. So, all right. And on the other page, it has some patterns that you can get by the QR code. That's kind of cool. Crochet inspiration board. Summertide slip-ons. Show it to you this way. I don't know. So they took a flip-flop. Oh, I'm using the wrong hand again. Flip-flop. And turned it into a slip-on. There's a hat. There's a basket. What is that up there? A Dory by the Sea blanket. It almost looked like a dress. That was a leg, a table leg that was down there. I thought it was a person's leg. A basket, a starlight basket. And then there's more down here. I'm covering up the QR code because you have to scan that to get those patterns. I still think for how much they charge for this and then the shipping, it's not a bad price at all. If you happen to, if you're a knitter, they do have a Crochet or Knitting Nation newspaper now as well. So if you're a knitter, okay, so here is the pattern for the elephant grafton. So I'm not going to be able to really show, well, I can show it to you. It's kind of hard. I wish they would have chose a little bit different colors for the elephant because it's very hard to see. So I will show you. And they're actually, they actually used the Ella Rae Cozy Alpaca, which is it's on Premier's website. So this is, that's the graph. Now, if you have trouble seeing color, you're going to have a hard time differentiating what color, where you're supposed to change color at. That's my opinion. They could have done that in a little different shades instead of the lighter and then almost just a tad darker than the background for the other blocks. And then on the next page, I mean, it shows you here down at the bottom the finished product, what it looks like. It's on the front page. So, and then then there's the Hooked Back in Time, Mother of the Hook, the revolutionary legacy of Mademoiselle Eleanor Reggio de la Bronchard. I don't know. I'm probably butchering this, but here is picture of the lady. Hooked Back in Time, and it gives information, and there's actually a picture of, I'm guessing their newspaper from back in Pixie Medals for 1851, 1955, or 1855? That'd have to be 18, because the next one says 1862. It says the 6th series crochet book, the complete tatting book, the instruction tatting book, the exposition tatting book, and the lace tatting book. Okay, so she won awards in 1851, 1855, and 1862 for her books. And this picture is courtesy of Antique Pattern Library. And it's got more history about her, Irish crochet in the Great Famine, a hook as a lifeline. See, there's been a controversy about how crocheting got started. Who started it first? Was it in Ireland? Was it in another country? So it's interesting to see what information they're getting for this, for the story. Alright, and then on the next page, if I don't lose everything here, I hope I didn't. Is that the right page? It's 4, 5, okay. And then the next page has a Stitch of the Month, Bobble on the Post stitch, and teaches you how to do that. It's an adventurous beginner to intermediate. And there's more stuff here about tatting, what set that lady apart, a legacy still crochet today. She did a lot of lace patterns. And if you want to explore more of her work, you can go to the antiquepatternlibrary.org. I'll put that in the description box below if I can, right here. Remember? Tips for success, scanning QR code for full patterns. So if it just gives you like a picture and what the description is, it might have to scan a QR code to get the actual pattern, but it is included in the price that you pay for the newspaper. All right, and then there's an oven mitt set. Ooh, And this one uses Barrico Pima 100. I'm guessing you could use whatever color you want to. I'll show you a picture of that. The lady's there holding that. It's like a light pink. I think it says Asylum is the color. And there with my phone, it's just a notification. So that's cool. You never could have too many oven mitts and pot holders. Or even hot pads to put your stuff on. Alright. The only thing that I don't understand is sometimes they don't tell you what brand of hook that they use. That would be nice for these patterns if they used Susan Bates or a tapered head or an inline hook. Because that can make a big difference on your gauge if you're using a totally different hook. You might be using the right size hook, but it might be a totally different style of hook. Alright. Ooh. That's interesting. Okay, that might be one that I look into. Okay, so then the next one is the round crochet bag with tassel. This was on the front page. Right there. I'm sure you could pick whatever color you want as long as it's similar yarn to this, similar weight. And this one is actually really cool looking. I wouldn't use the yarn. I would see if I have something similar to the yarn that they're talking about using. But it's a herringbone hexagon carding. And I got pictures of the front and then of the back of the neckline. It also shows you on the next page how to put it together too. At the bottom it tells you how to fold it and put it together down there. Let's see. Oh, that's a really thick yarn. A 10mm hook to make that. Wow. It'll work up pretty fast though. Alright, and then on to A Curious Crocheter, Mind Over Matter, How Crochet Changes Your Brain. The Science, Your Brain on Crochet. Tells you what things are affected when you crochet. Brain Boost, Neuroplasticity in Action. The Flow Effect, Stitching Your Way into a Mental Sweet Spot, which I get there, and then my husband comes and ruins it. But I love him. So, Crochet for Pain, The Surprising Science. Bonus brain perks. Yes, there's more. Color plus texture equals sensory harmony. Counting stitches equals mental math. Mental pattern rating equals language plus logic. That's cool. I don't think I've ever really looked at. I mean, they have this, and I'll show you to you because there's nothing on here about like patterns or anything. So this is the Curious Crocheter. And it's got all these breakdowns on how crocheting actually helps your body and your mind. On this side, and then there's a little bit on this side as well. And then there's the Tangled in Stitches Crochet Word Scramble. I really like these. I actually haven't done one yet because I really don't want to mess up these. I want them being pristine. No markings, no nothing. If I want to unscramble it, I might do it on a separate paper or something and attach it to it, but alright, and then at the very bottom of that page is an easy crochet tassel earring. That's kind of cool. I'm only trying to, there you go. I don't know if you can find any of these patterns online, or if they're specific to this newspaper. I did not look at my horoscope for this one. Alright, and then we go into more patterns. There is an elephant pattern. I think we're getting into the amigurumi section, to be honest. On this page, come on, yeah, Crochet Classic Socks. That's one thing I haven't learned how to do yet. I'm learning everything else, but I haven't learned how to do crochet socks yet. And then there's the elephant pattern. And that's all elephant. It's just showing you in a different color. More stuff on the elephant pattern. And here is the horoscope sign, Capricorn. Where the heck is Capricorn at? Capricorn, okay. The practical visionary. So, energy level steady, patient strong, detail orientation high. You're ready to upgrade your skills and your wardrobe. Choose something that's both functional and impressive. Something you'll actually wear or use, not just admire from afar. Best project, a short-sleeved crochet top or structured plant pot cover. Biggest struggle, over-researching before you allow yourself to begin. Yep, I will have to say that is a struggle of mine. But yeah, they have, everybody, they do a monthly horoscope. And if they got it right, you can actually send them a message. It says at the very bottom, did the stars get your stitch dial right? Tag us with your sign and spring whip. It's almost summer where I'm at. Well, I mean, I did get this a little while ago. But, alright. And then after that is the Dear Grandma Angie, or like Agnes, Dear whatever the heck that lady was in the newspaper. People wrote in their questions and then they replied in the next issue that they were in. And then there's the comics, Crochet Around the World. Well, that's really intricate. I can't even tell if that's a... Huh. Okay, so there's that. And then after that, they have more information, hooked and hilarious, fancy hooks and fancier feelings, a tale of tool, temptation, the wand chooses the wizard, reader confessions, I didn't know what I was missing. So that's basically talking about how to choose the right hook. And that's a boy style. That's a tapered hook there. And then magic wand or just a hook, and it gives you the feature of ergonomic grip, balanced weight, smooth finish, polished head, polished head and throat, the throat of the hook. Consistent sizing, lightweight or precision weight, durable materials, aesthetic appeal, and then it gives you why it matters. And then in the and I'll show you this here. Try before you buy. Hook dating, not hook marrying. That's funny. Try before you buy. Hook dating, not hook marrying. That just caught me off guard. What's your favorite hook? What is your favorite hook? Do you like Susan Bates? Do you like inline? I shouldn't say just Susan Bates, because there's a bunch of companies out there that do inline hooks, and there's a bunch of companies that do the tapered. And then you've got the clover, which I honestly think that some of those are kind of in between a tapered and an inline. They're not quite one or the other. And some people love those hooks. I have a couple, but they're the larger ones, and they're like, I think they're inline, but I think their smaller hooks are tapered, which to me is weird, but final thoughts. And then at the very bottom, okay, so yeah, I was right. Boy is considered a taper. And clover. Well, I knew boy was. Clover's what the one I was trying to say. Clover. Ergonomic grips, Clover Amore, Tulip Etmo, handcrafted wood or resin. Now see, oh, there's inline. It just has Susan Bates because that's what everybody refers them to as Susan Bates style hooks, not inline. And then you have your crochet word search at the bottom, which I found a few of them already. Not in this one, but other issues. And then there's the mystery reading, the story that they put in this, the Stitches of Deception story, the feature story. I don't know how long this is going to go on for, if it's going to be, you know, a never-ending story, or if they're going to end it at some point and then start a new story. And then they are featuring the Mary Stuart collar. And this is actually designed by the lady that was at the front, the Eleanor lady. Somebody actually made this. Not just pretty. That would take a lot of time, though. Well, maybe. As they used Rico Designs or Rico Rumi DK weight yarn, which isn't that thin. It is thin, but it's not that. It's not the thinnest. And then we have Hook and How, Hooked Across the Pond, How to Translate US versus UK Crochet Patterns. So you can kind of, if you've been crocheting for a while, you kind of notice right off the bat if it's UK terms and not US terms. Or if you're in the UK, you'll know that it's US terms and not UK. Because it's like our single crochet is their double. Our single is their slip stitch, I do believe their slip stitch. They don't have it listed here, but they've got a list of the differences. So US terms versus UK. So our single is their double. Our slip stitch is their single. So it starts out, we call it a slip stitch, they call it a single. We call our single we call it a single for a single, but they call it a double. My sister actually had a pattern that was from the UK that she was trying to do, and she was wondering why it didn't seem right, and that's why it wasn't right. And then of course they have the story, May the Yarn Be With You, how you fill it out, and then you can take a picture of this and submit it to them to tell them what it came out to be. What's your ideal crochet project? I think this is, I don't know if the questions are any different than previous ones, but there's always that in there. And then on the very back, so they have enough room to put it there, is the crossword puzzle. Ooh, crossword puzzle. I've gotten some of these answers. I haven't written them down. Like I said, I don't really want to write in these. But if I can think of what it is, and then I'll be like, okay, well, what's that one going down if it's going across? Or what's that going across if it's the answer's down? And it's got, it gives the answers to the previous one down there in the corner. I didn't even notice that on the last one. But some of these, ooh. This first one, I just read the question. One across is a stitch pattern that creates rounded edges or borders. If you know the answer, put it in the comment section. And I am, just a quick thought, I do appreciate all of you who have watched my last final trip, my last haul, my goodbye to Joann's. I forgot to test the audio. I have been usually doing that before, like I'll test a couple times and make sure everything's working properly. This time, because I was so late, I was so tired after being there, and I did not get home till late that day because I had to stop at Walmart, pick up my mother-in-law her pills that she needed and some other stuff. I wanted to get it done, and I should have been better about it and checking it. I have redone the video. I fixed the audio. I'm going to probably post it as a with the notation that the sound has been fixed. I'm going to leave the other one up there because I have had people who have watched it, but I am going to repost the one with the corrected audio. And this hat here, I'm into bucket hats right now. The easiest thing in the world. And you can, I got this, the bucket hat pattern came from Crystal at Bag O' Day. Great, simple, easy. I have done it 4 times now. Because I made my mother-in-law 2 hats out of one cake of Premier's frosted yarn in the cake. I had to play yarn chicken with it, but it worked out. I got 2 hats out of that using different stitches. After the crown, I went down and did the fork in the road stitch, which I've showed on another episode. I haven't actually showed you guys how to do that one yet. I'm working on doing some tutorials, some stitch patterns here in the near future. So that is that. And this hat here I made with the Lion Brand wool ease that I got from Joann. I might be able to make another hat if I don't change the stitch or anything, because I did this just like Crystal does, only I added an extra round at the bottom for the brim. And this is in the color Blush Heather. Again, I got this from, they do have this on Lion Brand in a lot of different colors. I really like this one though. And it's an 80-20, it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. It is machine washable and dryable. It's made in Turkey. And it's like a really light pink with the heather effect on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I'm trying to get it. There we go. Yeah, it's coming through a little bit. So, and I'm going to probably be late tomorrow with tomorrow's video because I'm working until like 2 o'clock. And there's no way I'm going to be able to get 2 videos done tonight. But I will get tomorrow's up and going. Thursday and Friday Thursdays will probably be just a little bit later. And Friday should be hopefully at around 8 o'clock when it gets published. So, alright. Well, if you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up. If you know the answer to that very first question, a stitch pattern that creates rounded edges or borders, let me know in the comment section what the answer is. There might be something in it. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what you guys think the answer is. Alright, well, until next time, I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty. Have a good one. Bye-bye.